Have you ever wanted to partner with Navigator 9 Podcast and feature your brand on our episode? Make sure to send us an email at navigator9podcast@gmail.com and let's partner together. We have different tiers that can help you become successful. Make sure to hit us up and we'll catch you in the email. On to the episode. Hello, everybody. It's Annika LaQuette here, the host and creator of Navigator 9 Podcast. And we have Damon. Hey, Damon.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing great. Early morning for us, so
Yes.
Yeah, get into it.
Yes. So, y'all, before we get started, I would like to say, y'all, welcome to the show. Okay, y'all, welcome to the show. If you are new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button and click on the notification bell so you will not miss any episodes that we have coming up. We post on Mondays and Wednesdays, okay? Also, if you are a return subscriber, hey, undeniable, and welcome back, okay? So, y'all, let's get started. I'm so excited to have him here. All right, so, Damon, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, born and raised in Vancouver, BC, so up in Canada. I think you're in the States right now, but just basically got into work, entrepreneurship by accident, and then been doing that for the last 25 years. And then we developed this thing, logisticsales.com, which is more of a free learning platform that we created for anyone that's looking to get into entrepreneurship, sales, financial freedom. Our motto here is financial freedom is achievable for anyone, regardless of where you live, what your background is, and what income level you're at, and even education level. But it's possible for anybody. And that's what we want to prove to everybody and have you challenge us on it as well.
Okay, come on now. I'm so excited. That's good. And see, I want to know a little bit more about your business. So tell everybody who do not know about your business, tell us a little bit about it.
About logistics sales?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So again, it's a free platform that we kind of created. I know as a younger kid, I always wanted to have some sort of mentorship and have someone kind of carry me up and show me the ropes of, what do you do? How do you save? Well, my thing was I wanted to save money for school, and I grew up not so financially secure. And so I had to figure out a way to save money for school and do different jobs and try to make sure that I could save that money to go back into university and college, which was kind of my dream. But then when I went to different jobs, I would just have all these different types of experiences. One was just not being able to save money. Second, you're sometimes facing bad employers, right? Not being recognized for the work that you're doing, or not knowing what value you have as an employee in some of these places. And so, I kind of went through a lot of these heartaches. Some businesses, didn't really align with me inside. And so going through that journey, I just hoped, there was somebody that could take you and guide you through that journey. So you're not making as many of those, not really mistakes, but not having as many bad experiences as potentially, and saying, okay, how can I get to my goal quicker? And that's what mentors and coaches kind of do, is just help you get there a little bit quicker. And because I couldn't really find one growing up, I want to be one for all those people that are in the same situation. And same with my partners that are in the course as well. They all have a serving mentality. And so we're just looking to say, okay, how can we serve back to our communities? How can we build people up? And that's kind of our goal at Logistics Sales is let's help each other. Let's create win-win partnerships. One part of the program is helping students, but the second part of that program is also pairing them up with entrepreneurs and saying so the other part, for example, 35 million small to medium-sized businesses right now in the US. And when we look at that, 50% of these businesses are going to fail in the next 5 years. And so we see that, hey, 50% of businesses that are small to medium-sized need help right now. And so there's a gap there. There's an opportunity there. The other part of that is, on this side, the student side, 50% of Gen Z is already in the mentality that we can't afford a home in our future.
Yep. Yes, you're right. And that's interesting. Okay. See, I want to know more about that. So I like that. And for your advice, what advice would you give newcomers who are making mistakes now? What can you do for them to air that out a little bit?
Well, one is just take a look at some of the episodes that we've created. Take a look at logisticsales.com. Take a look on the website. And what we're trying to do is what we're really actually our aim is just to open you up a little bit, expand your mind a little bit to some of those opportunities, and just see what's even out there. A lot of times we're walking, daily or driving, and we don't even recognize the businesses that are around us. And so one of the first exercises I try to get people to do is just zoom out of your own area on Google Maps. And then you're going to realize that there's a lot of home-based businesses that people have. And you're going to start seeing that if you live in a, somewhat populated area. If you live on a farm, maybe different story. But if you're farming, yeah, that's a business too. But yeah, there's not many places where you're not going to see that people actually have businesses. And it's a matter of saying, okay, well, hey, do any of these appeal to me? Does anything resonate inside me here when I hear this information or I'm listening to this? So we're not trying to push people into that direction, but we're just trying to make them aware of it. And the reason that we're trying to make people aware is because so many people feel financially strapped. And so that's one thing that we want people to understand is that, hey, it's a choice. We just want to show people that it's simply just a choice of whether you understand that you hold the power for financial freedom, not somebody else.
Yes.
It's not a teacher. It's not your employer. It's not anybody that you think it might be, mom and dad, whoever that
Yes.
could be. It's you, right? You
Mm-hmm.
have a chance to do whatever you want to do. And I know, Annika, I kind of searched you up. I know you've kind of been through a few entrepreneurial journeys in your life.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Yeah,
And
that's why I create this podcast because I'm like, there are people
mhm,
who are like me who went through different entrepreneur journeys and did not get that recognition because either they don't have the following or they just simply didn't do business correctly. So and they're trial and error, and then eventually they found a way that made it work, and now they're successful. So yes, I am a prime example of one of those.
so let's take a look at the psychology of both of them.
Hmm.
With students or anybody that wants financial freedom, they have
Right.
a goal of trying to increase. If you're a
Hmm.
small to medium sized business, you probably have the same goals. You probably don't want to be working for free for too long, but your goal and aim is to grow this business and to keep growing. And that's ideally why we get into entrepreneurship. So both people have the same goal. So it's
Right.
trying to figure out, okay, how do we mesh together to be able to create value for each other, not take from each other, but how can we create value for each other in a giving way that's in alignment with both of us? And
Yes.
so when you realize that, hey, you know what, I probably could have helped somebody out when I had my business. I probably could have
Hmm.
partnered up with some people if they had marketing skills, if they had, maybe they could take care of all the back end or the social media side. And
Yep.
so nowadays, what we do is even through our program, we take them away from the myth of sales, in which people think
Mm.
sales is, hey, I gotta sell you this pen right now. What are you gonna say to me to buy this pen? It's not like, right? So
Right.
we're, we're, we're doing it in a totally different way, which is just to be in service. Like, how do we help people? How do we love our neighbors and
Hmm.
show them that we're there for them? How do we build a community? And then how do all of us succeed at the same time,
Right.
right? So one thing that kills businesses is greed.
Come on now. You talking for real? Yes, that's
So
true. I agree.
if you're in
Yeah.
a partnership, somebody gets greedy, or what we see nowadays is that there's one cookie jar, and everybody, all the people that want raises are dipping into the cookie jar. Everyone lines up and says, "I
Mm.
want a cookie, I want a cookie, I want a cookie," but you still need people making them on this side,
Yes.
right? There's nobody making it and saying, "Hey, I'll go buy all the ingredients. I'll go make this happen." But those are the salespeople, and salespeople are the engine in any business. And so
Hmm.
we realize that every business, whether you're a charity, you still need a sales person or a sales team to make it happen. If you're on a podcast, same thing. You need
Yes.
salespeople to bring in guests or some marketing skills, right? To bring
Yep.
somebody
I
in.
agree. Yeah, I
So
agree.
yeah. And the other thing is when we're an entrepreneur, what we also look at and say is an entrepreneur wears many hats.
Hmm.
How good can that entrepreneur be in all those areas?
Mm.
They might need some
You
help.
talking?
Might need
Yes.
some help, right? And so that's the thing. There's so many different ways that we can get into this type of position where we can get opportunities. And
Okay.
all we got to be able to do is just be able to talk to somebody and see where their pain points are. And that's what sales ultimately is just figuring out, hey, if you have some pain points, how can I help? Right. And sometimes that's just having a conversation with somebody and just seeing where
Right.
they're at. Yeah, and then just even trying to find out from there is like, can I have a conversation to see if there's something that maybe a skill set I have that can potentially help you with your business, and then hey, maybe we could work out some sort of compensation on that that could benefit both
Hmm.
of us. And if it's a win-win situation, then you know what? It's there's only a net gain, not a net loss.
Right. I agree. And speaking of skill sets, because you did just talk about that, what skills matter the most in logistics sales when you're first starting out?
I think everyone has basic skills. So what we teach
Mhm.
also is if you have the ability to somewhat communicate, you have some skill. If you could
Right.
take a photo on your phone and post it on your social media accounts, you have skills. So
Yes.
that's the one thing that we have to understand is that everybody has something to offer.
Right.
And it's not like nobody does it. And so that's the one thing that we want people to recognize is that you already have skills. If you're doing customer service, then
Hmm.
that's sales. If you're talking to a friend and you get them to come outside and play, any sports with you or go for a meal with you or even go for a walk with you, that's the ability to influence. That's sales. So all these things are you're selling yourself as an individual. If you're in a relationship, you sold yourself to that person. That's sales. So
That's
it's
true.
happening all the time. So sales skills, everyone naturally has. So what we're trying to do is get people, uh, get the fear out of their minds, the blocks, the mental blocks, to get them cleared, so that they realize that hey, yeah, I do have value. And I think
Right.
everybody here has that potential. It's just a matter of are we willing to let go of our blocks to allow that to come out, and to be able to utilize what we already have to do what maybe aligns better with us. And once we're in alignment, you're going to actually be off to the races, because it's I watched some of your previous podcasts, and even with Jenna, and
That's my girl. Yep.
yeah, so she was talking about how she was doing a different podcast, but it just didn't align with her. And then
Right.
she changed that over, and then she had skills that she wasn't utilizing, like her guitar skills or other
Hmm.
singing abilities. And so it was a matter of this voice going on inside that was like, hey, you know what, maybe you might need to use this stuff that you already have, right? Maybe
Right.
you were looking at something else that looked like it was really attractive, but it wasn't really aligning with you. And so that's what we see a
Hmm.
lot of times with a lot of people is they want something, but it's not fully in alignment. And so that's another thing when you come to the program, is that we're trying to help you get fully aligned to the skills that you have and the talents that you have, and how can you utilize those. So we're working on clarity messages. One is, once you realize what's actually within you, then you can realize, okay, how can I help somebody else with those skills?
Right.
Yeah, so what type of jobs have I done? What have I been exposed to in my environments? And most kids, when they come out of whether it's high school, have already ingrained themselves with so many skills, whether it's writing
Hmm.
skills, whether it's report writing, um, communication, anything. Like there's so many things that they do get exposed to, but they do have pretty basic skills. And so when you get into an entrepreneurship opportunity, it's looking for, okay, well, what business can I help? Which person can I help? And that mentor is probably going to be able to pull a little bit of that out of you, and you're going to be able to make those
Hmm.
connections. The more you get exposed to it, you realize, okay, well, hey, if I'm a charity, well, maybe I need to write for a new grant from the government, and so someone can help me write that grant. If And again, so that's ways of bringing money. If I'm a good copywriter, yes, I can make sales and marketing ads for somebody. So maybe it's
Yes.
about learning about, okay, hey, maybe my neighbor's business isn't on social media yet. Okay, well, maybe we need to take some photos. Maybe I have a phone that I carry around with me. Most people have one of these,
Yes.
or maybe I have a computer that I can utilize to help and leverage some of this. Maybe I can even do it for free. And then if my customer or my entrepreneur business friend benefits from it, maybe they
Hmm.
can give me a little piece of that. And so it's starting with
Mm.
the small things. And so what we're really trying to do is just say, you know what, if you have something inside you, like, you don't have to go, break the bank and create your own business, but why don't you see who you could help first, to just learn some of those skills and see, okay, well, what's possible. And what we teach, again, young kids as well, is that you can go straight to the top level and have conversations with corporations. So we teach anything from, again, basics to going up into that corporate level and having corporate conversations. It just depends on where you are in life and where you want to get to. and just showing people
Right.
that everything's possible. Whatever we think is not possible for us. Again, if you think you can't, you probably won't. But if you think
Hmm.
you can, you're definitely going to find a way. And that's what we just want to show people, that business isn't really, it's not too complicated. It's for people that
Right.
just want to be able to say, hey, you know what, I want opportunities, and I'm willing to go out and get out of my comfort zone to go get them. And so,
Hmm.
we see that possibility for people around the world, for people that want to participate even in the North American markets, or if you're in North America and you want to participate in global markets, that's also possible. So we
It
take
is.
people from neighborhood to your city to your state to multi states and even different continents, and we show people that business nowadays, it's a global marketplace. It's no longer just what's around me, but it's also broad, a lot broader vision. And so we want to put that mindset into everybody too, to let people know that we could all connect. Like right now, I'm sitting in Canada, you're sitting in the US, we're having a
Hmm.
conversation. How
Yep.
difficult is this conversation?
Not difficult at all. See? Yeah, I like that. That's really good. So, like, then I have a question for you because I know as entrepreneurs, it's kind of hard to figure out your worth as money, like in the money wise. So, for that being said, people who have like issues with trying to put a price on their talent or put a price on their skills or products, what advice would you have for that? Because a lot of people struggle with that, knowing their worth in business.
Yeah, one is just go try it.
Okay.
Create proof. Find that, like, once you, even if you're doing a job, when you do a job really good, even if it's customer service or whatever you may be doing right now,
Hmm.
see how well you could do that job. Most people will start giving you some sort of feedback. Hey, you're really good at this. Hey, da da da. You're gonna get feedback that's gonna come back at you, for regardless of what you're doing. When you do
Right.
get that feedback, you're gonna start realizing, oh, hey, you know what? Like, I think a lot of people want to hire me in customer service.
Hmm.
So when you start realizing you have some of these skill sets, now it's like, okay, how can I leverage those skill sets? Where else can I use them? And that's another thing, is when you start realizing, okay, where can I use them? Like, they say we all have the same 8 hours in a day,
Yeah.
but if I'm working for, let's say, $1 an hour, and you're working at 10, and so we say, okay, well, what's the difference here? We're both working at the same time, but it's what how it gets valued in the marketplace is what makes the biggest difference. And so when we
Hmm.
realize that, hey, if I spend 8 hours a day, maybe in the sales, marketing, or something that can generate my business money, then my value can be tied into that, and say, okay, well, if we're generating X amount of dollars, can I get a little percentage of that? What's my profit
Right.
margin for that? So is understanding some of these dynamics when it comes to, again, what's being made, where's the income coming from. So when we realize that income has to be produced in order for me to be able to get some value, then you just say, okay, where can I align within a business to be able to get that opportunity? And that's what we kind of show people too, is what are these type of opportunities, what type of jobs carry this type of value. So we're trying to educate people on that aspect of it, and seeing,
Okay.
well, there's multiple jobs that can pay you, right? So it's a matter of, what skill can I develop,
Hmm.
what can I try. And so that's the other thing as well, is saying, okay, well, people just say we don't have opportunities. So that's another part of what we teach, is, well, we show you all those opportunities, so that
Right.
your mind is more open to saying, okay, well, if I'm not getting the opportunity here, where else can I go find it? And if I
Hmm.
want to hold on to my current job, how can I do that outside my current job? And so we're looking at so many different ways that we're able to generate income or create value for ourselves, that it's end of the day, it's going to be your choice as to how you want to execute that, if you want to, right? Most
Okay.
people sometimes don't want to work more than 8 hours a day, or don't want to do something outside their regular job. And
Right.
so it's a choice. We just want to say, hey, it's a choice, right? At the end of the day, if you're not getting where you want to get to, don't, and you want to accept where you are, then be happy with where you are. And so
Mm. Yeah.
mental health becomes a big component too, where it says, 1 in 8 people have some sort of mental health disorder.
Hmm.
So I think a lot of that has to do with just, shiny object syndrome, where, where everything,
Okay.
everything looks great on the outside, but then it's like you do
Hmm.
a self reflection, and you're like, well, my life isn't where that guy's life is on social media. I think social
Right.
media is kind of creating misconceptions, you know,
Yes.
and so it's like, okay, well, how can I change my life? Well, you have to change in order for your life to change, and so we want to just give people those tools. Also, once they have those tools, it's their choice whether they want to use them or not.
That's
And
true.
so there's multiple ways to get to the same outcome. And a lot of people, for example, if your boss is the only person that you see as where I can get financial freedom from, you're gonna be banging this wall.
Yeah.
But,
Exactly.
but if we teach you that you can go around this wall, right? And there's multiple ways
Hmm.
to go around it to get the outcome that you want, then that's what we want to be able to teach you is to say, hey, you don't have to bang your head over and over
Come
and over
on now.
again. You don't have to feel stuck in life. And this is where a lot of people will feel stuck is that, hey, everything's dependent on somebody else.
Hmm.
So again, we want people to feel better, knowing that they have different possibilities and multiple possibilities, and whatever again is in alignment with you. And that's what we want to teach because so many people end up in the wrong job or end up with the wrong employer.
Yes.
But what we want to say is, well, how do you communicate the opportunities that you wish to, look for? And that was the thing too. When I grew up, I didn't realize that.
I'll give you 5 seconds to send us an email saying that you want to be a partner with us. Five, four, three, two, and one.
I didn't
Hmm.
realize that I could look for different opportunities. I could stay within the same business that I was with and just create different structures, whether it was a small business or a medium sized business, or even in a large corporation. How do I be able to go ask for that, raise or that different position where I can get
Hmm.
more opportunity? How can I show that I'm willing to pick up any new skill sets or learn different skills to be able to grow, right? And
Right.
so if I didn't know that, then I'm thinking, a lot of people are probably in the same situation where they just don't know how to ask. And
Hmm.
what we try to teach you is, well, once you understand what the employer is going through, understand that side first. Understand what your supervisor, your boss, what's their duty and what's their
Hmm.
objective to do at work. And then how do we understand what their role is and to be able to help them with their roles so that we could achieve what we want. And so we're trying to teach you how to look at things from a different perspective, a different lens, so that you can
Okay.
again put the other person first. And what I say is it's more of a loving way to do work and build together. Where that
Okay.
if we understand each other, we're not sitting there and trying to tear each other apart, but we're trying to say, hey, how do we all work together to achieve the same outcomes?
I like
And
that.
so, yeah. And so we show a lot of this, whether it's the employee scale versus the entrepreneurship scale. So employee scale, this is one of our first episodes, we just kind of show you that you might start at a very comfortable salary, but the
Hmm.
line is very linear where it just goes up maybe 1-2% every year, but it kind of just hovers like this for the rest of your career.
Yes.
And whereas entrepreneurship starts a little bit lower because it's going to make you
Hmm.
very uncomfortable, usually for free.
Talk
And
about
then
it.
it usually takes about 18 months for this to
Hmm.
start matching up with the employee line. But then
Right.
the weird thing that happens is that this thing can skyrocket. And so
Hmm.
entrepreneurship can typically go up anywhere from 25% to 50%, 100%, and even in the thousands of percentiles because once you realize, the craft of what you're doing, and if it actually takes off, sky's the limit. There's no cap on it.
Right.
Whereas as an employee, and if you're always stuck in an employee structure, and you can still have entrepreneurial roles within an organization.
Hmm.
But again, when it comes to employee, you're kind of just stuck at this line where you're always just in a comfort zone.
Yes.
And that's where people keep you, whether they tie you in with a 401k or whether they entice you with something else, but you're usually just floating along life, right? And you're just comfortable. You're just at that right, what they call the middle class, right?
Yep. Exactly.
And so again, financial freedom does take a little bit of risk. So again, starting from here, you
Yep.
have to
Start
start
right
from a
there.
little bit depends, right? But if you build yourself up as an employee, you're
Hmm.
going to get those opportunities. And I know a lot of places where I used to work, people used to offer me, double, triple my salaries because I was working
Hmm.
at minimum wage at most of the companies that I started with. And a lot of people saw the value and would mention that to me. But for me, it was just more, the loyalty to my employer and saying, yeah, I'm okay. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just appreciative that I have a job. And but later in life, you kind of realize like, well, that comfort zone didn't allow me to go to school. It didn't
Yeah.
allow me to do the things I wanted to do, and so I had to change something. I had to just, a lot of times walk away from those opportunities to be like, okay, well, it's not achieving my goals, but my goals are important to me. So that's
Mm-hmm.
something again we're teaching in the course is, how do you set your goals properly? How do you get clarity on your goals so that you know what you need to do to be able to achieve them? And we're trying to make a roadmap for you so that you can follow it. And again, is we're just trying to give you that subtle push
I like
for
that.
things that are already inside of you that again are already resonating with you, that
Mhm.
maybe again you haven't had the courage to maybe push through it, and you just need that little bit of encouragement and mentorship to just guide you through it, or to let you know that you're right. Whatever you're thinking about, whatever you can achieve, you're absolutely right, and we just want to be able to carry you through that and give you that momentum.
Okay, look at you. That's an amazing business. And I heard that you said it's free. I also saw that as well. So why do you all offer free services when this particular like advice and mentorship is very expensive?
Because we think everyone just needs that little bit of help, right? And
Right.
again, we don't want to take money from somebody that's in a tough situation.
Mm,
We're all grateful. We all work full time. We all do our other jobs besides this,
okay.
or I have a couple different businesses that are operate, and so we're making revenues that
Okay.
way, and so what we again we're kind of give you maybe a backstory of this. So we were teaching sales and entrepreneurship, or we are teaching the sales side of things for a couple of years as well prior to doing this one. But what we started noticing is that there was a lot of demand, and we started noticing that when we looked into seeing how many people actually want to learn this,
Right.
um, we had I think it was a couple hundred, or probably a couple thousand actually. It was a couple thousand people from over 65 different countries that
Ooh,
actually
that's
wanted to
good.
learn. And so we were trying it for a little while, trying to do the one-on-ones, and after the one-on-ones, there was just it was just taking too much time or too much effort. And so we
Mhm.
said, okay, well, doing the one-on-one may be a little bit difficult, but how do we get this to the people that need it? And so
Right.
that's how logistics sales kind of came about. And we just said, okay, well, let's just make a platform where we can teach people one to many, and we'll do it as a public service. Down the road, we might make some sort of side courses or something down the road, but as of now, the main course that we always have will always be free.
That's good. I love that. Y'all, listen to him, okay? Go to their platform and see everything they offer. Amazing, okay? Yes. So, my next question will be do you have like any upcoming programs that you're want to share with everyone or any upcoming events that you would like to share?
Um, Nothing crazy right now. What we're just trying to
Okay.
get people to do is just start on the platform. What we want to hear is your questions. If you're looking at the platform, what questions do you have? And maybe we could even set up 20-minute meetings with some of the viewers to be able to say, okay, well, if you're stuck somewhere and you've looked at some of the content that we have, let us help you with those next steps. So a
Okay.
lot of it is just kind of being reactive to say, okay, where do we need to help people? And so we're looking at those aspects and saying, okay, if there's enough people that want the information, then
Mhm.
we'll probably get into whether it's live Q&As where we could help multiple people, or again do it in a way where we're doing 20-minute consultations, and hopefully we can maybe record some of that so it could help other people as well. And
Right.
yeah, just kind of take it from there. So again, we're testing the waters with it. We're still fairly new in the process. We just kind of launched December of 2025,
Okay.
and
That's
so
good.
yeah, so that's when we kind of rolled it out to marketplace and said, okay, all right, let's go put this information out there. What we're also trying to do is pair up with schools that offer
Mm,
free education as well. And so underprivileged schools that would want to take on the stuff that we're teaching and to be able to teach it for us. And so we're
okay.
willing to put that information out there, give you all the content that we have. And then we also have worksheets that go along with each episode when you get after the second or third episode. So again,
Mhm.
providing that clarity. So there's a little bit of a structure there that someone's able to teach. So we're hoping to get this information out there, especially with the way that the economies are changing. And
Mhm.
again, some places in the world, there's some places where the average salary is only $200 USD per month. And
Yes.
to say, okay, well, how do people survive on $200 a month or even
Mhm.
$300 USD a month? So we say, okay, well, some of these people I know are looking for opportunities. And so we had some of the people in different countries, Africa, Asia, they were doing business in North America, and they were able to
Mhm.
build customers. They were actually able to have meetings with some of the largest retailers in the US. And so I was sitting along in these meetings with them.
Mhm.
And knowing
Okay.
that it was possible for them, we know it's possible for anybody. And so what we also want to do is have the wealth distribution even out around the globe as well. So right now, the bottom, or sorry, the top 1% probably own more than 50% of the wealth in the country.
Mhm.
And
Right.
or sorry, on not saying country, but the globe, right? So,
Mhm.
the top 1% probably are owning 50% of the wealth in the global marketplace. And so what we say is, okay, well, how do we distribute that more evenly between people? So it's about empowering countries, empowering their students, empowering people that want to be able to take advantage and say, hey, we're looking at building communities, and we're looking
Okay.
at building each other up. And again, how do we stop the big companies gobbling up all the smaller to medium sized companies? Is by showing them that they have a growth path too. And
Yes.
then so we're hoping that, again, by building these communities, we could spread that wealth over, so many more people.
Yeah. I love that a lot. And you all are helping people, which is an amazing thing because it seems as though when people need help, it's like, oh, we have to pay for this service or you have to do X, Y, and Z. And it's like, okay, first I have to afford this. And then secondly, it's like, okay, what do I have to sacrifice in order to get the advice I need? So it's like, it's a lot. And you all are helping people, which is an amazing thing for the community and for the culture. So I love that. So, yes. And lastly, give yourself and your business a shout out. Tell everyone where they can follow you and look up your information.
Yeah. So if you look at this podcast right now, you'll see it says logisticsales.com next to my name.
Yep.
But just go to our website. We have all our socials on there, and you can take a look. And yeah, I mean, take a look at and see if you can expand the mindset. And hopefully, we want to get you to that starting point where you can start your journey. And then after that, there's a lot of coaches on the internet. There's so many other courses that you could do on the internet that can help you out. But we want to be that first part of your journey to just kind of get you on your way, and so that you could start helping other people too. And so take the chance, see what goes into your mindset, and then hopefully you can share it with your friends, and you can all have positive conversations after it.
Okay. I want to thank you so, so, so much for coming on Navigating Our podcast today.
No problem. Thank you, Annika, for having me.
Of course. And remember, yes, life was delayed, but it never gave denied. I'm your host, Annika Laquette, and you just listened to Never Gave Denied podcast with Damon. Bye, y'all. I know you're not going to deny subscription. It's a whole new season, and you're still playing. Click here to subscribe and click here for more episodes because we want to see you and become undeniable with us. Period.